who is a public relations expert. He's a businessman as well as a social commentator. Good afternoon, Mr. Ikem.
Good afternoon. It's good to be here. The French president had to come here. The kind of fun you get at the shrine. Let me just say, the kind of fun he was getting at the shrine while he did his internship here was something that he needed to show to the world.
Exactly.
And that was why that picture, I think the person who got that shot should become the photographer of this World Cup.
Thank you for joining us, Mr. Ikem. Also, we have Mr. Dixon Akiumi, who's a journalist with us on the program. Good afternoon, Mr. Dixon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for joining us. Also, we have Mr. Alex Eyeho. He is a renowned filmmaker. He's a politician and also a social analyst. Good afternoon, Mr. Alex.
Good afternoon.
Thank
Good
you.
To be here again, and congratulations to France. Congratulations to Africa.
Yes.
90% of that team is made up of Africans.
I don't know how that works, anyways, but
Don't know.
I don't know. You know, it still beats. It's still like it amazes me. I think that's the word, but it is what it is. It is what it is. A lot of Africans we don't lose. You know, yeah, not lost. You know,
I can accept when you say black people, but those guys
not
don't have any
Africans.
African passport.
Exactly.
I can say they're blacks, yes, but Africans, I disagree.
All right.
Africans.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us at the table today. All right, remember the number to use is 0802-836-8971. The number will be on the screen shortly. Also, we have all of our social media portals open for you.
Okay, and that's on Facebook, facebook.com/Galaxy TV, and on Twitter at official Galaxy TV. Knowing that you can get to watch previous editions of the program via our YouTube channel, Galaxy TV Nigeria.
Okay, so we have an interesting lineup on the show this afternoon, but of course we'll start by way of the Ekiti elections, aftermath of the elections. Saturday was the elections, and we all live in this country, we all know what went down. Anyways, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, of course, announced the results of the just concluded governorship election in Ekiti State. And the returning officer for the poll, Professor Idowu Olayinka, declared Dr. Kayode Fayemi as winner of the elections. We know that these particular elections did not go down without the usual, scenarios we witness at our various elections, and this one was no different. But first of all, let's start by way of looking at the footage of the INEC returning officer, declaring Fayemi winner, and also what reaction of the Ekiti people really were at the news.
APC 197,459, PDP 178,121. That John Olukayode Fayemi of the APC, having satisfied the requirements of the law and scored the highest number of votes, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected.
You see what he did then, and we are going to continue on that, believe you me. Better days are ahead. The light is back again. Darkness is over.
Welcome you back. Now, Fayemi was victorious in 11 out of the 16 local government areas of the state, polling 197,459 votes to beat his closest rival, Olushola, who got 178,121 votes. We'll start with you, Mr. Ikem. The whole electoral process at the Ekiti gubernatorial elections. How did you perceive the elections, first of all? Did you think it was fair? Was it free? And was it transparent enough in your own opinion?
Well, let me start by saying congratulations to Fayemi. I think that's quite in order. But having said that, the Ekiti election presented a very serious embarrassment for us as a nation.
Okay.
It presented a terrible testament to what we have as an electoral process across the two major divides. We have 35 political parties that participated, but it was clear that only two political parties, the PDP and the APC came to the party. But that election wasn't free. That election was for sale.
Okay.
That election wasn't fair. That election, I don't know about transparency, but in terms of free and fair elections, I look at the cost of the election itself. I look at what went down before the election, on the election day, and a few things that happened. We were on the social media and see screenshots of credit alerts of 3,000 naira,
4,000 flying around
to civil servants in the state. We also heard that some people were camped with raw cash, moving around from place to place, distributing money to would-be voters. That is not a free and fair election. In fact, that is actually an election for sale.
Okay.
Whatever the drama between Fayemi and the security agencies before the election also presented a picture. Although Fayemi being
the drama king,
the drama king of the Federal Republic, has its issues, but then it also didn't paint the election in an interesting light.
It didn't portray the right intentions.
It didn't portray the right intentions. And if you look at the whole process, even the end of this election, I don't think we have seen the end of it.
I don't think so too.
Because a few people have started querying the tally. The 197,000 votes gathered by Fayemi and the 170-something thousand votes gathered by Eleka. If you add the two, it actually turns out higher than the total number of votes that INEC presented as a cumulative of a number of valid votes cast for that election.
All right.
That said, I think this election, we have not learned from our previous experiences in electoral management. Even Nigerian citizens, given what happened in Ekiti, are not also willing to change leadership because they have decided that this is who we want. People trade off their PVCs in exchange for a vote. Imagine anybody who collected 4,000 naira in Ekiti state just to vote. People broke it down, and I found that embarrassing. That is actually 1,000 naira
per year.
For each year,
for 1 year,
the person is going to be in power. Break it down by 12 months in a year, you know how much you have mortgaged.
You have,
Okay.
So we are still very far away from where we should be in electoral management and even voter perception of how to select and change their leaders.
Okay, you know, Mr. Ikem, because last week on the program we discussed the election itself, the Ekiti election, and it was more or less going to be like a test run for 2019. And now we actually saw different acronyms. We saw the C and buy, what had to do with the money trading, and a lot of people are pretty discouraged getting ready for 2019 election. Few months time, we'll be having the presidential elections and changing powers, and is this what we're going to be facing at about this time?
I want to assume that probably a few people will take lessons from what happened in Ekiti and work with their consciences. But I also fear that the example of Ekiti will also buoy politicians into thinking and actually acting towards free purchase of the franchise to become president or governors or whatever. because it was open, it wasn't hidden. The alerts that I saw actually bore the EKSG, that is Ekiti state government. It means that it was actually emanating from the government in power. So it wasn't even hidden. If we don't punish this now, and I'm talking about government punishing across those parties, everybody who is going in for 2019 is going to seek to purchase that seat.
Sure.
And once that is done, it elongates our whatever dream we have of having credible leadership in this country.
And of course, let's not forget that, this particular election was supposed to be like a test run for us to see how, the general elections next year would actually. But Dixon, you were on ground in Ekiti. Maybe you want to tell us some of the anomalies you observed, in the course of the elections.
Thank you. I want to just add to the point that the see and buy or vote for sale didn't happen the first time in Ekiti State. It happened about 10 years ago. When you see political parties, or one of the political parties prominently states.
That's not peculiar to just Ekiti State.
Even those states happened. But I'm from Ekiti State. My parents are from that state. My father from Ipoli, where I voted. My mother from Adobri. So I will give a very fair analysis of what happened. The see and buy or vote for sale was too prominent this time around. And maybe because of the level of poverty or impoverishment in the state caused it. I was embarrassed because I have to be on driving the rally and most weekends I have to be on during the week. The problem with the states where I come from is that the recycling of the leaders of the governors of that state. Where Fayemi was there before he came back, Fayemi was there before he came back, and we are recycling the governors. But on ground, the see and buy template it was too open. Even the security people could not.
And by both parties, it's not just
that's where I'm going to now. By both parties, one of the parties did not do see and buy. See and buy.
Look at.
I have to interject because.
Relax.
Let me relax.
See and buy is different from when you get your money before you vote.
Okay.
The see and buy is a kind of like that when you vote. And you wait at the point of funding your paper, the agent will see who you voted for.
Before giving you the money.
You go and collect the money.
Wow.
Please, I need to ask a quick question. Is it actually allowed in our system?
It's not allowed in the system.
It's not allowed.
But it was stylishly done. So you have no way to arrest anybody.
It was done. Okay, just hold it a minute, Dixon. For those who are in doubt, whether the actual see and buy thing, whether it actually took place in Ekiti or not, we'd like to report that a BBC reporter, BBC Pidgin reporter, actually was on ground and, of course, well disguised, took some footage of how people were running to go and collect money and how agents, were actually going village by village and sharing money, particularly to senior citizens, elderly women, and let's quickly see the footage. We'll come back and continue. Let's see the footage of see and buy.
Ward 11. Kí ni wọ́n ń ṣe?
Owó 4,000.
Fún àwọn ta ni?
Ìlà tó máa dìbò ní kò máa rò.
Ta ló ní ká dìbò fún?
Olúbẹ́ ti wọ̀ ọ́.
Fayemi. Okay. Auntie Erama. Lema, ẹjọ ibo ni.
11 ló wà ńbẹ̀ yẹn.
11 ni. Ẹ gbọ́ kí náà fún wọn.
Owó ni.
Èló. Ta ló ní ká dìbò fún?
PDP.
Okay.
welcome back. Yeah. Okay. So that is see and buy. You know.
That's see and buy.
So this was the order of the day. This was actually like a day to the election. You know, people were being. Is it a bribe? Is that what we call it? Because I don't even know what.
He has no other name.
I don't know what to call that. Mr. Alex, let's bring you in at this juncture.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Let me start by saying congratulations to the governor-elect of Ekiti State, Dr. John Kayode Fayemi. For me, this election, you know, is a referendum. According to Governor Fayose, that's what he said before the election, that the election will be a referendum by the Ekiti people between himself, PDP, and President Buhari and APC. The Ekiti people have spoken in this referendum, and we all know the answer. Having said that, for me, and from what I heard from observers on ground, both local and international, this is a fair election. It's an improvement on what we have in Edo, Ondo, and some other by-election. I mean, I'm quoting what the observer, I'm not one of the observers. We can be here to analyze and all of that, apart from himself who was there on the ground. So we can go by those who have duties to perform, and that includes the observers, both local and international. I've monitored them, and they have scored this election high. The only thing that I've said, which is, it has been with us since 1999. I don't know the Shagari and co time, but as far as I'm concerned, from 1999 till date, vote buying and all of that has been with us. It is more or less a systematic thing, sadly so. So it's not new. There is nothing new. I don't think it sounds as news to any serious-minded Nigerian.
I'm happy you said sadly so, because the fact that it's been with us doesn't make it right.
Wait, I'm not saying it is right. Of course, it is not right. It is an electoral offense by the giver and the taker. So what if such things happen and we have evidence? Prosecute those involved.
Can we annul an election based on this kind of allegation?
Like I said again, election is a process. We have passed this process. The next step of the process is tribunal.
Okay.
We cannot do anything here.
Okay.
If you have your facts, I'm sure PDP, they are challenging the result.
Yeah, they are. So this morning,
they should put their facts together. You understand? Whether they were involved in the vote buying or they were not, I'm not going into that.
Okay.
They should, but we all know, and like I said, this is part of us. It's across board.
All right.
You know, but I will not be here to say, oh, PDP did this or APC did it. We have passed that stage. The next stage is approach the tribunal.
Okay, all right, Mr. Alex and panelists, let me just put it this way. Now we've been clamoring for not too young to run here. Do you think the youth, the younger ones, will be able to afford the 4,000 or 5,000 seats to buy
per voter?
Is it possible?
Let me tell you that.
What are the chances?
This not too young to run thing.
It's not going to work.
Not that it's not going to work, just that it's not going to work. But even the young people that are supposed to benefit from that narrative or campaign or policy are not even ready. They don't even want to be a part of the process. Why do I say that? If you do a proper audit of the social media on the day of the election and up until yesterday, the number of people who were trolling ANRP, a party created and registered to represent the interest of the young, the number of people yabbing them for not even scoring high votes, actually people between the ages of 18 and 40, people in this bracket that party otherwise should represent. So if, in terms of catchment, the young people across Nigeria in Ekiti State, outside Ekiti State, were mocking a party that should drive their own interests, then it tells you that even these young people don't even believe in themselves, don't believe in the campaign of hashtag not too young to run, and are not prepared. Even if you give them 200 billion to go and do, what was that? See and buy. They ain't going to do anything. Because there is lack of self-belief among them that it's only the gerontocrats that should pilot our affairs, which is very sad.
Sorry, I want to disagree with Kim.
Go ahead.
The young people, they have interest to be part of the system in the country. But the financial wherewithal, the financial some is not there. So the deputy governorship candidate of one of the, let me speak about the SDP guys, are able to was a very, very young person, and several members of those other parties. But the fact is, it's not about that July 14 election. For the past 4 or 3 years, when campaigns, people are being given money for campaign, t-shirts, rally, any rally you attended, you give money. So the owner of the July 14 just like clammers. If you have enough money for the youth, they are ready to take over this money. And but
let's look at it this way. Okay. Let's even forget the see and buy scenario. Let's look at let's say there are young civil servants who receive those alerts. Let's say young people attended those rallies and collected money. What stops these people from collecting that money and still going to vote?
I'll tell you what stops them.
Go ahead.
You know, and that is first and foremost, this thing became so manifest in Ekiti because of the level of impoverishment there in the last 4 years. People are in need, they are in want. So any available thing, they go for it.
People are hungry.
They are very hungry. In Ekiti, it's very clear. Because I don't see, like someone said, I don't see what 4,000, 3,000, 6,000 can do
ordinarily.
But I will not make...
Let me just tell you what I'm coming. No, let me forget before I forget. That 4,000 naira, for me, is an abuse. Because I'll just be making brief. If you see the credit alert shared on social media, there was one that got 3,000 naira. What was in that account before that alert came was 229 naira. After the alert, it was 3,229.
So what I'm saying, because when we discuss these things, when we analyze, we have to look at the way forward, because you ask a fundamental question. What stops them from taking the money and still voting, you know, their conscience? The way the system is structured now, until INEC, you know, will have to live up to its expectation and responsibility, until voting becomes truly secret ballot.
Like it used to be.
Like it used to be, but now it is not secret
it's
ballot.
It's ballot, yes.
It is only when it is truly secret ballot that you can collect money as you vote your conscience. Because they will not be there. There is no way they will know.
To monitor what you do or do not.
That's very valid.
Okay.
It is.
I get what you mean.
Disadvantage of the election.
4,000 naira to a lot of us, I mean, is nonsense, you know, for you to even collect from anybody. But let's not forget, like we rightly said, a lot of people are hungry, you know, in this our inner states, you know what I mean? And isn't this even a gimmick of our leaders, you know, to keep the people impoverished, so that time to time we can come back and use them to our personal gains. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
While we're still talking about the elections, Dixon, you were there. Let's talk about the other issues. The see and buy thing, yes. The other issues, Fayose, the incumbent governor, declaring, you know, outgoing governor, already announcing the results of the elections on a radio station. Even before.
It was actually shut down anyway, because they actually breached the law of the NDC.
It would be nice for Dixon to...
Why would the governor even do that in the first place?
Serious offense.
I think that wasn't right on his part to have done that. And that's why DC... In fact, there was a warning before that shutdown. You are fined 500,000 naira for doing some campaign material that are not all right. That was 500,000, but before that is an announcement.
It wasn't just campaign material, it was because later Lainka, the DG of one of the parties, was doubling as the DG of the Broadcasting Corporation.
Yeah, it's the same person.
Which is conflict of interest.
And DG of the campaign organization. Okay, having said that, well, I think the NBC has done what it's supposed to do. But I think on the part of our governor, outgoing governor, it wasn't right. I have to say that openly. But I think even before then, the control of the BCS has been partial. That the state government was in total control of the station. So the other people had Araba, I call it Araba FM, not all these ones. So, but I want to do is Adaba FM, so not Adaba FM. I think the governor, if there's any law that says if it was wrong, we're punished, for could have done that. But having said that, from this moment, I think the NBC and the federal government should be able to have a way of controlling or monitoring what is being done on radio or TV station of the states. Aside from the state, other states have control over the TV radio stations. But we use this one to incite the people who have been all right. But it's something that I have to take for that business.
Okay. You know, there's a reason why I brought up that particular question, you know, because observers are saying the Ekiti elections, you know, went on, it was free and fair. Now I want to ask, with all of these discrepancies, with the buying of votes and the governor acting out of line, amongst other issues, you know, what is our yardstick really for determining, you know, whether an election is actually free and fair?
I think there are many things, you know, there are many things you look at, there are many indices, you know, that you look at from the time the materials arrive, the distribution, did it get to various locations on time, you know, when
level of violence or the lack of
level of violence.
Okay.
This is there is no incident of any death or anybody being beaten on election day. It's there on record. The materials were distributed accordingly and timeously. Voting started when it should start. These are some of the things. All these other things, vote buying, are outside the control of the observers. Yes, they noted it, that there was vote buying across board. They've said so. It will be in their report, I believe, but it's not their own duty. The other things they look at it, and to them, this election conformed with best standard. And they have said so.
I think the security personnel were on ground, at least by a unit. We had about 4 policemen on ground. One unit.
After you guys had about
30,000 policemen in the state.
So if there's nobody that cause any trouble, they will just pick you up.
No, they may take 30,000 and still, it's their strategy. There may be some who are not uniformed, they are there hanging around.
I actually saw some pictures of some policemen sleeping because maybe they were in excess.
There was nothing to do.
That particular picture.
Nothing to do.
I looked at it critically and it looked as if it didn't come from this Ekiti election.
Okay.
People pick up somebody of
All right. Last words on this issue, Mr. Ikem, quickly.
Well, we haven't learned anything. Like Alex was trying to analyze that observers said the election was free and fair. I think we also need to distinguish between voting proper and an electoral process. The election starts from when officially the campaign starts until the results are analyzed. Voting is just an exercise that takes place within 1 or 2 hours. The voting was violence-free. People didn't die. There was no incidents, at least recorded, of ballot boxes snatching or any physical molestation. But that election was not free. It was not fair. It was not
credible.
Nice. It was not. It's a total embarrassment to what an electoral process should be.
Okay, coming from Mr. Ikem, let's look at how our viewers are responding. This one says Ekiti election is a proof that our PVC is useless. Ekiti election, okay, I've read this one. The election in Ekiti was free and fair based on the report of observers on ground. The security was right as there was less or no skirmishes noticed on election day. The 2014 election was worse as the military took over the entire Ekiti. The PDP candidate was not known to the people as Fayoshe presented himself and not Eleka. As for the money that changed hands, both parties were culpable as it was also the case during the 2014 election and every other election that has taken place in this country. People should know that what goes around comes around. Felix Ayanwu sent that one in. Good day, presenters. A big congratulations to Fayemi, the winner of the Ekiti state election. He really deserved it because he's a good and gentle man. Joseph from Benin sent that one in. This one says civil servants in Ekiti still owed between 8 and 9 months salary. Ha! TJ from Oshogbo says it's certain that if secret ballots were employed, Nigerians would fashion out another means. We're always ahead of the game, you know what I mean? All right, so let's leave Ekiti elections for now. Meanwhile, as at this morning, we know that the PDP, has plans to challenge the results of this election. So it's still an unfolding issue. We'll just wait and see how this plays out and see how it goes. Moving on, PDP apologizes to Obasanjo. Leaders of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, on Saturday visited former President Olusegun Obasanjo at his home in Abeokuta, Ogun State. All the 21 members of the PDP National Working Committee and some party leaders attended the meeting, including former Osun State Governor Olagunsoye Oyinlola. Meanwhile, a statement from the office of the PDP National Publicity Secretary revealed that the leaders acknowledged that mistakes were made in the past, for which they tendered apologies to the former president. Now, for those who don't know, former President Obasanjo dumped the PDP in 2015. That was just, is it a dump that is, we all saw it. We saw it very hard. So he dumped the party in 2015, and then he said he would no longer be a part of partisan politics. But here we are, he subsequently went and supported the candidacy of President Buhari and all that, even though recently it looks like both of them are falling out. There's been letters up and down and all of that. But my question is, exactly what is the PDP apologizing to Obasanjo for?
Well, I think this is a further, statement that PDP, a panic move.
More like a desperate move.
It's a panic
for
move.
Me.
It's more than desperate. It's an action taken by a drowning man who will hold on to even a straw, thinking the straw will keep him afloat. That's what PDP is doing, because what they have just done is very embarrassing, to the party, PDP itself, even though it's sinking already. So this is just an effort to try to see how they can get afloat by adopting that policy of my enemy's enemy is my friend.
Okay.
Obasanjo as of today, Uncle Shege as of today, is President Muhammadu Buhari's enemy, and PDP wants President Muhammadu Buhari.
I am not very sure of that statement, though.
No, I'm saying it. I am saying it with a sense of responsibility, and as a politician, is his enemy, and that is what PDP is playing on. Because how do you explain?
Have you seen pictures of them whining and dining together?
That one is official function, but we all know the undercurrent. How do you explain someone that not just dumped your party, disgraced you, saw your his membership card on national TV, mashed on it, and you are going back to, so is that policy of my...
Mr. Alex, but don't you actually think that's how politics plays out in Nigeria? I can as well be in party A, and I still switch to another party.
What's the difference between the parties anyways?
Right?
Well, not by dissent.
Mr. Ikem, do you agree with Mr. Alex?
Well, there are some points he made that are quite strong, and I agree with it. Because if you analyze it on the premise of justice, it was actually Obasanjo that offended the party. And now the party is going back to apologize to the person who offended it. What are you apologizing for? Okay, Mr. Former President, please, can you forgive us for tearing our party card and dumping us in 2015. It doesn't make sense. We make capital from virtually everything. I would have, if they had gone quietly and had a meeting and said, see, we had these issues in the past and it's now clear that President Buhari is not delivering on some of those things for which reason you left the party. Is it possible we come back and work together to find somebody else that will move Nigeria forward, assuming those were their genuine intentions? I will understand that, but going to apologize is horribly pedantic, is servitude, is childish. It's only in my village that they tell you that a younger one does not ever offend an elder one. That anytime you offend your father, you apologize. Anytime your father offends you, you go and apologize. I don't understand the elder and younger in a political party that should be superior to a particular individual. The whole PDP in Nigeria is going to apologize to one man. So you are tying your whole electoral value to only one individual, to the point where you are aggregating all the God knows how many millions of party members in Nigeria and gathering all of them, fusing their thoughts, their minds, their intentions in one mouth to go and apologize to Obasanjo. It doesn't make sense.
Dixon, what say you?
There's the belief that the Obasanjo president was part of those people that sent away Jonathan, Jonathan, by not being his friend for the last years of his government. And this time around, some people still believe that with the support of Obasanjo, President Obasanjo, there is a possibility that he will send President Buhari in 2019. So for you to do,
so it's more like being in the good books of the cabal, yeah.
And you know they're no more friends in code. They are generals, so officially they are no more friends, but behind the curtain they might be friends. So it's game of 2019. Let's get General Buhari, President Buhari's enemy first to our side, and so that we're able to chase this. And
then when we finish, we can sort ourselves.
Yes, and don't forget there are many people there within the party and there are RAPs or BPs that will they will still go and apologize to Saraki and co. And so I'm very sorry for happening. So that we have to chase them. So when you chase anybody, whether you can come and say, okay, what are our plans? So it's about 2019, and people are ready to say, okay, let's get this person and send somebody or it is somebody.
So now looks like godfatherism plays a major role in our political.
It is. It has come to stay. Yeah.
Okay. So
if that's what you're asking. Okay, so they have apologized. Even though he received the apology, the former president was quick to say he will not return to partisan politics, but will continue to make himself available to guide any party that so desires. You know, I've always seen Chief Obasanjo as a very smart man. You know, he's neither here nor there. You know, so.
He's a very funny guy.
He's neither here nor there. So.
He was actually the first to congratulate Fayemi.
Fayemi, yes. Yeah, he wrote a lengthy letter.
It's fake news that he said he forged his letter ahead.
They said the okay, in all social media happened. They said the signature was not.
Well, we have not heard him say that in the news, in the traditional media.
No, congratulating Fayemi.
I read the letter.
I don't even see it.
I read the letter.
There's nothing bad there.
There's nothing wrong.
After all, he says he's a non-partisan politician, so he can congratulate.
If he's a non-partisan politician, we know about his romance with ADC. We know a few things are between him and SDP. We know the meeting held in Abuja on the day there was a rally somewhere in Abeokuta that he flew from Abuja after that conference and attended. Is it non-partisan meeting that he attended in Abuja?
Of course.
Was he a non-partisan? He actually attended a PDP rally.
Rally, yes.
What was he doing there? Was he there as a motivational speaker or what?
He's only mouthing this non-partisanship. He's just mouthing it. He's not living it.
So that's why I say it's very funny.
Okay. All right. There are more and more reactions coming on this Ekiti elections issue. Mr. Alex, you're wrong with the desperate description. I was actually the one that said desperate, you know. Obasanjo and Tinubu were political enemies, but same Tinubu went to Obasanjo to come and navigate APC in 2015. Mr. Godi Ofose sent that one in. This one says, I wish a new person.
But that's not correct. It wasn't Tinubu that went to Obasanjo to come and navigate APC. Obasanjo came on his own.
What I think is these people, they're not quarreling anything. We are the ones actually thinking their issues.
We just keep fueling the matter.
Openly, he dumped PDP for APC in 2015.
All right, Tunde from Ado Ekiti says, Ado Ekiti, that's what it is?
Yeah,
Ado Ekiti. I wish a new person won Ekiti election because for me, APC and PDP are the same. Fayose should choose which prison he would want to serve his jail.
But I wish I could ask this person if he voted for a new person.
Yeah, exactly. Did you vote for a new person?
Ask this person if he voted for a new person.
That's a very good question. All right, begging Obasanjo is a sign of desperation and childish behavior on the part of the PDP. They just want to get back into power by hook or crook without a recourse to their conscience and the ideology they claim to stand for. Felix Ayamu sent that one in from Lagos. All right, gentlemen, we still have another topic to discuss, so let's move it along quickly. And just now, another one just came in. I'm ashamed of what is happening in view of the type of democracy we claim to be practicing. Our so-called politicians have no moral conscience and are not interested in the people they are ruling. How can such magnitude of money be shared to the same people who have been trying to wriggle out their heads out of poverty? Lalong's convoy attacked at IDP camp. Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State's convoy was attacked at the weekend by displaced persons living at IDP camp in Jos. The incident occurred when the governor visited one of the IDP camps at Zawan to give relief materials. Stones were thrown at the governor's car and vehicles of his entourage. Windscreen of many cars were smashed, but the governor escaped unhurt as stones could not penetrate his bulletproof car. Okay, let me stop it at this point. Anyways, the governor of Plateau State there, it's an attack. Yeah, we can call it an attack, by the same displaced persons he was taking relief materials to. This sends strong signals as to, the feelings of the people. But then taking the violent route, is that the way to go, Mr. Ikem? Quickly.
When you push somebody's back against the wall, if he can't fall through the wall to the other side to safety,
you fight back.
He has to dislodge you to be able to become safe. I'm saying this because it's happening in very, very small isolated places. It's going to grow. Whether you're paying 5,000 naira in Ekiti or 4,000 naira to install yourself, this discontent is growing everywhere in the country, and that's the discontent between the people and those who call themselves their leaders. All of them should be careful. All of us should be careful, because spontaneous violence, spontaneous response like this is what triggers something that all of us shouldn't even pray for. I hope I could urge our political leaders to be a lot more responsive and responsible to their people. I hope when they become leaders, they should come down and still connect normally, seamlessly with their people. Because a lot of people, including, let me just come back to Ekiti, who collect this 3,000 naira and 4,000 naira, are not happy they are even collecting that. The day they will respond, maybe something as strong as a bulletproof vehicle may not save the person. Maybe the person won't be in a position to even access a bulletproof vehicle to ferry into safety. That's just what I can say about this.
All right, quick one, because most of the displaced persons that the governor wanted to go give relief materials, they were chanting that they didn't want any relief materials. That what they wanted to do was to get back.
To go back home, yes.
That's just it. So he has actually failed them in terms of security. Mr. Alex.
No, that's you just took it off me. You know, what happened is a clear manifestation of intense frustration by the IDPs. They have had it up to the brain, and they made the reason for their attack, rightly or wrongly. But in this case, I support them. That is the only way they can send the message, and they have sent that message very clear that, look, we don't want you bringing relief materials to us here. We want to go back to our home. The primary responsibility of any government, be it at the LGA, at the state, or at the federal level, is to provide security, safety of lives and property.
You are the CSO of the state government.
And not for you to, you know, lump. Some of them have very responsible people.
Exactly.
You know, but because of the crisis, they have
everything
businesses.
is gone.
So you want to perpetually put them there. So they have spoken, and they spoke out loud and clear. I hope the government will listen.
Dixon.
Yeah, I think there's no point keeping them as long as possible years, but the question now is for how long? And they were saying that they want to go back to their land, but people are trying to claim their own lands there. So if you keep them in the camp, the people that chase them away are now taking control of their land.
But can we be logical for a bit now? Their homes have been razed down. Yeah. What are they returning back to, really? I think that is what the governor rather should have been more interested in.
Rebuild the
exactly.
Where in Nigeria has government rebuilt? These people will go back home and rebuild their homes. The money government was supposed to use even for rebuilding, assuming that's their intention, is what they are giving commercial government contractors and vendors to supply relief materials at cost, at huge cost. If you go and talk to the person who supplied rice and blankets and mats and cooking stoves, a bag of rice may have been supplied for 20,000 naira. At a time, these people have farms where they work. Just people are not lazy people.
They're not.
But most times, most of those states actually get support from UN. They do.
Through who? Does the UN budget to drop it themselves?
They do. They get support from UN.
The UN intervention.
Either someone will probably just sit down.
The UN intervention doesn't pass through the state government. Our friend Digi works with a UN agency that does that. When they want to do intervention at IDPs, they move with their own staff, ad hoc and permanent, and do whatever they do.
I think the bottom line is just for the government at all levels to be responsive to, you know,
to the needs of the people.
Of the people. And
exactly.
That's what this whole attack is all about. And, that's it.
I mean, these ones are the IDPs. Even those who are not displaced from their homes are being displaced every day by poverty. You know, people being owed 8-9 months salary. What do you want them to survive on?
Like,
you know,
Dixon's
it's terrible. All right, Felix Ayawu is back again, and he says stoning the governor's convoy is a sign of frustration on the part of the IDPs. I think that's clear enough to everybody. Wow, our time is seriously against us, so we have to go. Even though we still have one more topic, maybe we'll move that over to tomorrow. Many thanks to you, Mr. Alex Anyao. Thank you indeed for joining us. He's a filmmaker, a politician, and a social analyst. Thank you, Dixon Akinwumi. Thank you so much for the on-ground reportage of Ekiti elections.
From the PDP perspective.
Did you tell us where?
Did you collect the copper naira?
Remember?
Did you?
I'm very neutral person here.
Okay, we have to go.
You are like Obasa.
We have to go. Thank you, Dixon. Thank you, Dixon. Thank you, Mr. Ike Mokuhu. Yeah, Mr. Dixon will tell us later if he collected money or not. Thank you, Alera.
Thank you,
and thank you for watching the show. We'll be back tomorrow at noon, God willing. Do join us then. Have yourself a beautiful day.